Welcome to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis. We have combined the thorough newspaper analysis for 1st and 2nd September. Due to some technical glitches, we were not able to upload yesterday's TNA. Now, starting with the editorial session, Haryana's Parivar Pehchan Patra. What is this document? Why the opposition has criticized it, which we have taken from the Indian Express. Then we will be discussing about all the news update, including all the national and the international news. And lastly, we will deal with some important legal news update, which will be coming from Honorable Supreme Court and Honorable High Court of India. Now, the editorial session, as we are following the pattern where we understand what is the context of this particular editorial and what is this particular editorial all about and what are the future implications of it. Now, understanding the context, Haryana's leader of opposition, Bhupinder Singh Hooda, has announced that if the Congress comes to power in the state elections next year, it will scrap the current government's flagship Parivar Pehchan Patra scheme. In the recently concluded monsoon session of the Vidhan Sabha, the opposition raised strong objection against the Parivar Pehchan Patra, terming it the permanent Pareshani Patra, permanent inconvenience document. The PPP was introduced in 2020 and implemented in September 21. The opposition has criticized it stringently, alleging discrepancies in the data collection and flagging privacy concern. So what is Parivar Pehchan Patra? How is the scheme being implemented? And why has it faced criticism? Let's understand the same. Now, the Parivar Pehchan Patra, a unique 8-digit identity number, is issued to each family as a single unit. Any family residing in Haryana is required to enroll in the Pehchan Parivar Patra, that is Parivar Pehchan Patra, I'm sorry, to avail various government services and social security schemes. Now, currently, the PPP ID can be made through 3 channels. Common Service Center managed by village level entrepreneurs, Saral Kendras managed by the state government, and through PPP operator registered for data collection. The data for a family is collected on the basis of a signed self-declaration made by an adult member. Each data field is then separately verified through customized and defined procedure. Linked to it is the delivery of various public welfare schemes such as subsidized ration to below poverty line household, old age Saman allowance, Divyang pension, Mukhyamantri Vivah Shagun Yojana, Mukhyamantri Antoday Parivar Uthan Yojana, admissions to educational institution, government recruitment examination, scheduled caste certificates, compensation to farmers. Now, what data does the PPP collect? Besides the family member's name, the PPT collects Aadhaar number, age, house number, street number, PIN code, district, block, town, ward, village, gender, date of birth, proof of date of birth, email, place of birth, mobile number, voter ID date card, occupation, bank account number, IFSC code, and for how long has one lived at a particular place, annual income, complete details of immovable property owned by each member of the family, marital status, caste, education, qualification, etc. It also asks if the individual has a PAN card, is an income tax payee, a freedom fighter, a government employee, a BPL card holder, or Divyang, etc. Now, let us understand how PPP is different from the Aadhaar card. Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar had said in the assembly that PPP draws from the digital infrastructure and principles created by Aadhaar. However, it is many times more complicated than Aadhaar in its delivery. Aadhaar primarily keeps unique identity information, whereas PPP goes far beyond to maintain socio-economic information besides the unique identity information. The CM also said that Aadhaar does not verify any data except identity, but the PPP verifies every information field available with it through a specific procedure. Now, why does the opposition has the objections to it? Former CM Bhupinder Singh Hooda said glitches in data collection had led to people missing out on government subsidies and benefit. Congress senior legislator B.B. Patra listed detailed objections to the scheme while also alleging that the government was using the data for voter profiling. He stated that there are 25 columns one has to fill to PPP card. The very column is Aadhaar, which is mandatory. A 9-judge Supreme Court judgment dated August 24, 2017. Aadhaar card is not mandatory in nature. The judgment said the right to privacy is a fundamental right. How can the state then ask for my Aadhaar number? Another column asks for caste. Social security benefit are given from the consolidated fund of the state and don't require the beneficiary caste. If the government wants a caste census, it should be done as per proper legal procedure and should be a public document. Further, the government asks for the PAN card, bank account number, property details. Why should the government be asking all these personal details? The real purpose of the BJP government is to collect caste-based data and socio-economic profile of the people and then use it to their benefit in the upcoming election. So, Haryana Parivar Pehchan Patra and we listed all the detailed opposition objections which is there on the Haryana Parivar Pehchan Patra. Now, the national news of the day, Delhi found to be world's most polluted city, lifespan of its resident may be cut short. A new study has found Delhi to be the most polluted city in the world. As per the study, Delhi residents may lose 11.9 years of life if the current pollution levels in the city remain higher than the World Health Organization set limit. The study, Air Quality Life Index, released by Energy Policy Institute at the University of Chicago, suggested that India's entire 1.3 billion population lives in areas with annual average particulate pollution level more than 5 micrograms per cubic meter, limit set by WHO. 67.4% of the population lives in place where pollution level exceeded India's own national air quality standard of 40 micrograms per cubic meter. Fine particulate air pollution, that is PM 2.5, cut short the average life expectancy of India by 5.3 years compared to what 5 micrograms per cubic meter pollution limit set by WHO would affect. As per national guideline, Delhi residents would stand to lose 8.5 years of their life, the study added. It adds that India was responsible for 59.1% of the global increase in pollution from 2013 to 2021. Nitin Gadkari launches world first 100% ethanol-run Toyota Innova vehicle. Union Road Transport and Highway Minister Nitin Gadkari has unveiled a 100% ethanol-fueled variant of Toyota Innova High Cross car. This car is said to be the world's first BS6 Stage 2 electrified flex fuel vehicle. Flexible fuel vehicles have an internal combustion engine and are capable of operating in petrol and any blend of petrol and ethanol. Till now, the maximum limit of mixing is set around 83%, but this model says to run on 100% ethanol. Vehicles running on alternate and greener fuels are necessary for sustainable development. Now, let us understand what is ethanol and how it is manufactured. Ethanol, also called as ethanol alcohol, is a biofuel with the chemical formula C2H5OH. It is naturally made by fermentation of sugar. In India, it is largely derived while extracting sugar from sugarcane. However, other organic matter like food grains can also be used for its production. Ethanol is a green fuel. Ethanol supports complete combustion according to government report. Higher reductions in carbon monoxide emissions were observed with E20 fuel, 50% lower in two-wheelers and 30% lower in four-wheelers. Hydrocarbon emissions scaled down by 20%, but nitrous oxide emission did not show a sustainable trend as it depended on a vehicle engine type and engine operating conditions. Now, ISRO-developed device for fishers safety successfully tested at Neendakara. The Indian Space Research Organization has achieved a significant milestone by successfully testing its innovative device named Navmitra. This device, developed at ISRO's Space Application Center in Ahmedabad, aims to enhance the safety of fishermen during their sea expeditions. The successful testing took place at Neendakara, where the device was installed on a fishing vessel and its capabilities were assessed in the presence of both scientists and officials from the fisheries department. Apart from providing information about shipping channels and maritime boundaries, the device will also help to identify fishing fields. ISRO Navmitra device key features and function: weather and cyclone warnings, distress messages, emergency connectivity, navigational assistance, fishing field identification. Now, Gujarat government hikes OBC reservation in local bodies from 10 to 27%. The Bharatiya Janata Party government in Gujarat has hiked reservations for other backward classes from the existing 10% to 27% for elections in panchayats and urban local bodies based on the recommendation of Justice Jhaveri Commission report. The decision is expected to pave the way for holding local body polls, which were postponed due to pending quota issues after the Supreme Court mandated that reservation for OBC should be on the basis of their population. The commission report, that is Justice Jhaveri Commission, will be tabled in the State Assembly during the monsoon session, slated to be held in the month of September, said Rushikesh Patel, Gujarat Minister and Government Spokesperson. The commission headed by Gujarat High Court Judge K.S. Jhaveri, retired, was set up by the state government in July 2022 with an aim to collect and analyze data about the nature and implication of backwardness in local bodies. This was necessary for fixing the OBC quota in elections for institutions of local self-governance. Based on the report, a cabinet subcommittee recommendation 27% reservations for OBC in local bodies, and the recommendation was accepted by the state cabinet. Earlier, OBC reservation in local bodies was 10% in Gujarat. On the direction of Supreme Court, a commission was appointed to redefine seat reservation for OBCs in local bodies. We received the report of the Jhaveri Commission in April. After that, deliberations were carried out by a subcommittee of cabinet. Gujarat Minister and Government Spokesperson Rushikesh Patel said, there is a 50% cap on reservation mandated by the Apex Court, so we cannot make it beyond 27% reservation for OBCs, he said. Now, Center announces up to rupees 50 lakh grant for technical textile startup. The government on Tuesday said it will provide a grant in aid of up to rupees 50 lakh for startups and individuals to promote innovation in the niche technical textile segment. The startup guidelines for technical textiles, grant for research and entrepreneurship across aspiring innovators in technical textile, providing granted aid of up to rupees 50 lakh for a period of 18 months has been approved. With a strong emphasis on developing the startup ecosystem in technical textile, the guideline focuses on supporting individuals and companies to translate prototypes to technologies and products, including commercialization. Under the GREAT scheme, the ministry envisages the research which has already been conducted and some prototypes have been developed. The official said that an online portal will be developed to invite application within 10 to 15 days. The scheme will be commensurate with our National Technical Textile Mission. 100 to 150 startups are going to be supported. Now, Nagaland becomes first state in Northeast India to start Aadhaar-linked birth registration. In a significant achievement, Nagaland has become the first state in the northeastern region to initiate Aadhaar-linked birth registration. This initiative aims to streamline birth registration by integrating Aadhaar enrollment for children in the age group of 0 to 5 years. The initiative is anticipated to enable children's access to various social welfare schemes designed for their welfare. To extend the reach of their service to residents across districts, the Directorate of Economics and Statistics, Nagaland, which serves as a registrar for birth and death for the state, has collaborated with the Unique Identification Authority of India as a registrar cum enrollment agency for child enrollment via the Aadhaar linked birth registration. The Unique Identification Authority of India has been actively supporting states through workshop, door-to-door enrollments, and outreach to remote areas, assisting them in harnessing the benefit of the Aadhaar ecosystem. The Commissioner of Nagaland, that is T. Mahabeno Yanthan, urged the cooperation of state government officials to ensure the successful implementation of Aadhaar-linked birth registration across all districts of Nagaland. Now, the director of the Unique Identification Authority of India, that is Colonel Abhishek Kaushik, commended the state government for leading the northeastern region in implementing the Aadhaar-linked birth registration. He lauded the consistent efforts of the Office of the Commissioner Nagaland in providing Aadhaar-linked services to the state residents. Now, coming up to the next national news, Axis Bank launches paid saving account with no charges for services balance requirement. Moving towards subscription-based accounts, Axis Bank on Tuesday launched a paid saving account where the customer will not be charged for many services and will not be required to maintain a minimum balance. Customers will be charged rupees 150 per month or discounted rupees 1650 per year for what has been christened as Infinity Saving Account by a third largest private sector lender. A few players like Fino Payment Bank do charge an annual account maintenance fee of the kind which Axis Bank is introducing with a new account. Axis Bank said it is targeting the digitally savvy customers who are frequent adopters of subscription-based offering with a new variant. The new offering does not require any minimum balance, will not charge for domestic transactional fees, and also offer free debit card which can be used at ATMs as many times as a customer would need. There is no charges on checkbook usage or transaction withdrawal above limits as well, the bank said in a statement. Now, the next national news of the day, Savart launches fully automated investment fund. Investment advisor Savart launched its maiden flagship portfolio management service, the Astra Fund. For the fund, Savart received investment commitment amounting to rupees 31 crore on the launch day last week and plans to achieve an AUM of rupees 350 crore by the end of financial year 24. Savart's PMS marks a groundbreaking shift in the way we manage portfolios. While AI has become a hot topic at the moment, Savart has embraced its power since inception. Initially for its investment, advisory services, and then for the enterprise division as well, Sankarsh Chanda, founder and CEO Savart, said. Now, the next national news of the day, Press and Registration of Books Act amendment to come into force on September 1. The Union government has issued a notification for the implementations of the amendment to the Press and Registration of Books Act 1867 from September 1. The changes substantially decriminalize and do away with imprisonment provisions for certain offences. Recently, the Jan Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Act 2023 has replaced or amended some sections in the Press and Registration of Books Act. Earlier, there was no direct role of the press registrar to regulate irregular different newspapers. New provisions have now been added for suspension and cancellation of certificate of registration by press registrar on the grounds of irregularity, ceasing of publication, not furnishing annual statement or false statement, etc. Now, the next national news, Pragyan rover reconfirms sulfur presence. In situ scientific experiment carried out on a lunar surface by Chandrayaan-3 rover has led to confirmation of the presence of sulfur in the landing region near the moon's south pole. The finding could inspire new scientific theory about the sources of sulfur in the region that explore the possibilities of origin, intrinsic, volcanic, or meteoritic, the Indian Space Research Organization said on Thursday. The alpha particle X-ray spectrometer on the on board the rover Pragyan has spotted interesting minor elements including sulfur and major elements like aluminium, silicon, calcium, and iron that were expected to be found on the lunar surface. The rover, with two scientific instruments, have been conducting experiments to determine characteristics of soil and rocks in Moon's solar polar region and compare them with the features of soil and rocks from the other highland region. The Chandrayaan-3 lander module touched down near the lunar south pole on August 23rd. Now, that is alpha particle X-ray spectrometer is developed by Physical Research Laboratory Ahmedabad with support from the Space Application Center Ahmedabad. Now, the next news of the day, Army signs deal for 130 tethered drones and 19 tank driving simulators. In continuation with its steps to strengthen intelligence and surveillance systems across the line of control, the Indian Army has signed a contract with local manufacturers for supply of tethered drone system and tank driving simulators. The Army confirmed the signing of a contract for procurement of 130 tethered drones and 19 tank driving simulators. As per the RFI, these systems are sought to fly not less than 6 hours in tethered mode and around 45 minutes in untethered mode. These drones are connected to a ground-based tethered system with a flexible wire or cable for power and communications and can provide surveillance of beyond line of sight targets for a prolonged period. Tethered UAVs are perfect for data capture and telemetry due to the reliability of tethered connections. They dramatically reduce technical and human error crashes in flight. They provide a secure line of communication between the ground station and the aircraft. It also does not require GPS navigation. Many tethered drones have longer flight times compared to free-flying battery-operated drones. Due to the restricted movement of a tethered drone, the operator does not need piloting skills and can mainly focus on their task. Now, the next national news, nearly 1,500 new colleges to come up in Maharashtra this year, Devendra Fadnavis. The Maharashtra government will set up 1,499 new colleges across the state this year, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said. This decision was announced in the Maharashtra State Commission for Higher Education and Development meeting held under the chairmanship of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde ji at Sahyadri Guest House. The Deputy CM shared that in this meeting, a 5-year plan, which is from 24 to 29, was discussed and approved for determining the locations of these proposed colleges. During this meeting, experts were also expressed satisfaction regarding the National Education Policy of 2020. Patna gets India's largest 5-storied online-offline exam center, Pariksha Parisar. The capital of Bihar, Patna, has now India's largest examination center with a capacity of around 16,000 candidates who can take online as well as offline exams simultaneously. The Chief Minister of Bihar, Nitish Kumar, inaugurated the exam center named Bapu Pariksha Parisar on August 23rd. The exam center is spread across 5 acres of land with a budget of over 260 crore. The building is a 5-storied and has 2 towers. Bapu Pariksha Parisar is located at Kumharar, Patna. Candidates of class 10, 12 exams, JEE, NEET, BPSC, UPSC, and other competitive exams can be conducted at the building. Over 13,000 candidates can appear for offline exams and 3,854 candidates can appear for online exams simultaneously at this building. The building is equipped with motion sensor lights in all rooms. Computer and other essential devices required for conducting online exam are also set up in the building. Now, ex-CGI Ramana, appointed member of Singapore's International Mediator Panel. The former Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, has been appointed member of International Mediation Panel of the Singapore International Mediation Center. A letter of appointment was presented to him by George Lim, chairman of SMIC, on August 29th. Justice Ramana took part in Singapore Convention Week, the annual convention organized by Singapore Ministry of Law, United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, and over 20 partner organizations. During this tenure as CGI, Justice Ramana spoke about the importance of mediation in removing the burden in the justice delivery system and about making mediation mandatory as a first step for dispute resolution, and also suggested that a law be framed in this regard. Even after his tenure as Supreme Court judge ended, he spoke about how a shift in the public's mindset to opt for mediation is one of the biggest challenges in the field. He had further suggested that mediator should develop emotional intelligence and have the ability to communicate, conduct oneself, be spontaneous, possess the ability to build trust and understand strained relationships. Now, coming up to the important days, World Sanskrit Day. India villages where people mostly speak Sanskrit. World Sanskrit Day, also referred to as International Sanskrit Day, Sanskrit Divas, Vishwa Samskrita Dinam, is observed on the day of Shravana Purnima in the Hindu calendar, which is also marked as Raksha Bandhan, which coincides with the moon. Sanskrit Divas was celebrated on Thursday, 31st August. The purpose of this day is to raise awareness and promote Sanskrit, one of the India's oldest languages. Sanskrit holds importance as it serves as the foundation for classical texts in disciplines such as literature, philosophy, mathematics, and science. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on August 31st extended his greetings to the public on World Sanskrit Day. He also encouraged citizens to commemorate the language significance by sharing a sentence in its ancient language. Greetings on World Sanskrit Day. I laud all those who are passionate about it. India has a very special relation with Sanskrit. To celebrate this great language, I urge you all to share one sentence in Sanskrit. Now, let us talk about the history of this particular day. World Sanskrit Day has a history that can be tracked back to 1969. It was during this year that the Indian government decided to honor and celebrate the contributions of Panini, a figure in the realm of the Sanskrit language and linguistics. The declaration was made to commemorate Panini's work on the occasion of his birth anniversary. Since then, this special day has been celebrated by Sanskrit scholars and enthusiasts worldwide. Now, the international news: Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Taiwan join India to reject China's new map. Governments in Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Taiwan on Thursday joined India in rejecting China's new national map, issuing strongly worded statement accusing Beijing of claiming their territory. The Chinese Minister on National Resources on Monday released 2023 edition of its standard map, staking a claim over Arunachal Pradesh, Pehchan region, Taiwan, and the disputed South China Sea. The map showed Arunachal Pradesh, which China claims as South Tibet, and Aksai Chin, occupied by it in 1962 war. The map also incorporated Taiwan, which China claims is a part of its territory, though the island sees itself as sovereign nation, and the 9-line claiming a large part of the South China Sea. India on Tuesday lodged a strong protest with China with so-called standard map, laying claim over Arunachal Pradesh and Aksai Chin, and asserted that such steps only complicate the resolution of the boundary question. Just making absurd claims does not make other people's territory yours, which is said by External Minister S. Jaishankar. Philippines, the latest attempt to legitimize China's purported sovereignty and jurisdiction of a Philippine features and maritime zones has no basis under international law, particularly the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea. The award categorically stated that maritime areas of the South China Sea encompassed by the relevant part of the 9-line are contrary to the convention and without lawful effect to the extent they exceed the geographic and substantial limits of China maritime entitlement under the convention. The Malaysian government said that it will send a protest note to China over the latest claim on the South China Sea as outlined in the China Standard Map Edition 2023. Vietnam strongly reiterates its consistent stance on the sovereignty over Hong Sa Paracel and Trong Sa and resolutely rejects any maritime claims of China that are based on the nine-dash line in the East Sea. Taiwan, the Republic of China, is a sovereign and independent country that is not subordinate to People's Republic of China. The People Republic of China has never ruled Taiwan. These are universally recognized facts and the status quo in the international community. Now, Gabon Cope leaders named Jean Brice Oligui Nguema as new leader. On Wednesday, a dozen mutiny soldiers appeared on Gabonese national television announcing the cancellation of recent election results and the dissolution of all the institutions of the republic. Gabon is a country in Central Africa. The former French colony is once Africa's major oil producers. This announcement came after President Ali Bongo Ondimba 64 was re-elected for the third term. In an election, the opposition described as fraud orchestrated by a ruling party. The president was confirmed he is under house arrest and called for help, urging citizens to make noise. The Bongo family, one of the Africa's most powerful dynasties, has been in power since 1967. Now, what is the recent development on this particular news? Army officer who seized power in a coup in Gabon have named Gen Brice Oligui Nguema as the country's transitional leader. Gen Nguema was earlier carried triumphantly through the streets of capital Libreville by his troops. The deposed President Ali Bongo has appeared in a video at his home, calling on his friends all over the world to make noise on his behalf. The UN Secretary General on Wednesday firmly condemned the ongoing coup attempt in Gabon by acknowledging that serious infringements of fundamental freedom appear to have taken place during elections at a weekend. Now, the next international news, NASA to demonstrate laser communications from space station. NASA to set to demonstrate a new end-to-end communication system in space that it claims to be more efficient than conventional system currently in use at the International Space Station. NASA uses the International Space Station, a football field, sees spacecraft orbiting Earth to learn more about living and working in space. For over 20 years, the space station has provided a unique platform for investigation and research in areas like biology, technology, agriculture, and more. In 2023, NASA is sending a technology demonstration known as Integrated LCRD, that is Low Earth Orbit User Modem and Amplifier Terminal, to the space station. Together with the laser communications and the amplifier terminal relay demonstrations, which launched in 2021, will complete NASA's first two-way end-to-end laser relay system. Now, the next international news, Casper Ruud upset by Zhang, who became the first Chinese man to beat a top 5 player in the ATP rankings. Casper Ruud, the 2022 US Open runner-up, was eliminated Wednesday night when Zhang Xinzhan became the first Chinese man to beat a player in the top 5 of the ATP ranking. The 26-year-old Zhang reached the third round of the French Open in June before failing to Ruud, who had been to the finals in 3 of the last 6 Grand Slams event. Now, the legal update coming from the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Zunaid versus State of UP. Magistrate can take cognizance of protest petition after rejecting police final report. Supreme Court has observed that on the receipt of final report, magistrate can exercise his discretion to treat protest petition as a complaint case. The bench of Justice Bella M. Trivedi and Dipankar Datta noted that on the receipt of the police report under Section 173 CRPC, the magistrate can exercise 3 options. First, he may decide that there is no sufficient ground for proceeding further and drop action. Secondly, he may take cognizance of the offence under Section 191B on the basis of the police report and issue process. And thirdly, he may take cognizance of an offence under Section 191A on the basis of the original complaint and proceed to examine upon oath the complainant and his witness under Section 200. However, it clarified that a magistrate, while exercising his judicial discretion, has to apply his mind to the contents of the protest petition or the complaint as the case may be. Now, another legal update coming from the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Ravina Sidappa versus Malika Arjun. The Supreme Court, while holding that a child born from a void or voidable marriage is entitled to parent share in a Hindu undivided family governed by Mitakshara law, clarified that such a child cannot be treated as a co-partner by birth in the HUF. If a person born from a void or voidable marriage to whom legitimacy is conferred by subsection 1 and 2 of section 16 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, where to have an interest by birth in a Hindu undivided family governed by Metakshara law, this would certainly affect the rights of other parts from the parents of the child. The bench comprising Honorable Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud and Honorable Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra observed whether a child who is conferred with legislative legitimacy under section 16 subsection 1 and 2 is by reason of section 16 of subsection 3 entitled to the ancestral and co-personal property of the parents, or is the child merely entitled to the self-earned separate property of the parents? One question that needed answer was whether the legislative intent is to confer legitimacy on a child covered by section 16 in a manner that makes them co-partners and thus entitled to initiate a great share in the partition, actual or notional. Now, that's all for the today's news update and the legal news. Stay tuned, keep learning. Thank you for watching.